why the Women's National Basketball Association, or WNBA, is seriously falling short. Founded on April 24, 1996, the WNBA is about to hit its 30-year mark. That's right, 3 decades of professional women's basketball. First things first, let's talk about viewership. For the last 3 seasons, starting with 2021 and running through the 2023 season, the average number of viewers per game on ESPN, the sole network brave enough to broadcast these matches, was a measly 372,000. That might sound like a decent number, but hold your horses. This is a huge improvement from previous seasons. Still, it paints a bleak picture when you compare it to other major sports leagues. To give you some perspective, the NBA, which is the gold standard of professional basketball, regularly pulls in millions of viewers per game. The WNBA, on the other hand, has struggled to reach even close to 500,000. Let that sink in. When you're competing for eyeballs against a league that attracts massive audiences, having only a fraction of that isn't exactly a win. The WNBA has often been touted for its impressive athleticism and skill. And let's be real, these athletes are incredibly talented. No argument there. But here's the kicker. Despite nearly 30 years of thrilling performances and jaw-dropping shot-making, the league still feels like it's stuck in the shadows. How is it possible that such an exciting product has failed to capture the public's imagination on a grand scale? We can't ignore the fact that women's sports, in general, face tougher challenges in gaining media attention and sponsorship compared to their male counterparts. But the WNBA's struggles aren't just about gender inequality. They're also about the league's marketing and presentation. The league has been criticized for its inconsistent promotion and lack of compelling storylines to draw in viewers. In addition to that, the average attendance at games and the general buzz surrounding the league doesn't always match up to the hype. Fans who do tune in often find that while the play is solid, the overall experience, from the broadcast quality to the engagement on social media, leaves a lot to be desired. It's like the league is stuck in a perpetual cycle of underperformance, and unfortunately, that's reflected in the numbers. To top it off, when you consider that the WNBA has had some truly star-studded players over the years, like Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, and Aja Wilson, it's baffling that the league hasn't been able to leverage these stars to boost its profile more effectively. Imagine having a roster full of basketball legends and still struggling to get the spotlight. It's a hard reality to face, but it's clear that the league needs to step up its game both on and off the court. The Big Bang Theory, which wrapped up in 2019, still rakes in about 788,000 views per episode in syndication on TBS. Pretty impressive for a show that's been off the air for a while, but let's put that in perspective. Caitlin Clark has been shaking things up in women's basketball, and her impact is nothing short of explosive. Clark's rise has been nothing short of meteoric. When she burst onto the scene, it was clear she wasn't just another college athlete. Her popularity surged dramatically, especially during the NCAA Women's Tournament. Take her second-round game with the Iowa Hawkeyes against the West Virginia Mountaineers. It was her final home game, and guess what? A whopping 4.9 million viewers tuned in, setting a record for the largest pre-Final Four audience in women's March Madness history. That's a huge number, and it set the stage for what was to come, but that was just the beginning. Her Elite Eight rematch against LSU, a game that had all the drama of last year's national championship, drew in an astounding 12.3 million viewers. This wasn't just another game, it was the most watched women's basketball game ever. And if you think that's impressive, hold on to your seats. The Women's National Championship game saw a staggering 18.9 million viewers. For comparison, 14.8 million people watched UConn's men's team defend their title this season. That 18.9 million figure wasn't just a record for women's college basketball, it was the highest viewership for any basketball game, men's or women's, college or pro, since 2019. Caitlin Clark was essentially a walking, dribbling ratings bonanza. So what does this mean for the WNBA? Well, Clark's popularity has translated to the professional level. In the early games of the WNBA season, viewership on ESPN jumped to 1.4 million per game. That's a significant increase of 226,000 viewers from last year. Clark's influence is real. She's brought a level of relevance to the WNBA that it's been sorely missing. But here's the twist in this thrilling tale. Despite her undeniable undeniable impact and growing popularity. It seems like the WNBA's love for Caitlin Clark isn't mutual. Recently, the entire sports world was buzzing over a controversial flagrant foul upgrade against Kennedy Carter, a player who was traded from Atlanta for conduct detrimental to the team. Carter, who has had her share of issues, found herself at the center of controversy, and Clark's name was dragged into the drama. Why is this happening? It's almost as if Clark's arrival and her skyrocketing popularity have stirred up some internal friction within the league. It's a classic case of how dare you outshine the status quo. Yet despite the apparent pushback, Clark's star power continues to blaze a trail, and her influence on the sport is undeniable. To sum it up, Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball star, she's a phenomenon. Her meteoric rise has not only brought unprecedented viewership to women's basketball, but also highlighted the WNBA's need for a major overhaul. Whether the league likes it or not, Clark's impact is shaking things up in a big way, and frankly, it's about time. But here's the kicker. Despite her massive draw, Caitlin Clark hasn't exactly been lighting it up on the court. In her rookie season with the Indiana Fever, the team is a dismal 2-9, sitting second to last in the league standings. Clark is averaging just 15.1 points per game, shooting a subpar 35% from the field, and an even worse 29% from beyond the arc. To top it off, she's leading the league in turnovers with 59, nearly double the second-place player, who has 33. Clark's struggles don't end there. She's brought her flopping antics from college to the pro level, adding a theatrical element to her game. Just look at the flagrant foul everyone's been buzzing about. It's a prime example of her over-the-top dramatics. But let's not get it twisted. Kennedy Carter is no angel either. She's been called a goon and an outright liar, especially after that infamous heat-of-the-moment play. It's basketball, folks. Emotions run high, and players get into it. But Carter's track record of drama and poor conduct keeps her under the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Now, back to Angel Reese. Her bold claims and controversial statements might make headlines, but they don't hold up under scrutiny. The real star, the real draw, remains Caitlin Clark, despite her on-court struggles. Clark's ability to attract massive crowds shows her impact on the sport and the league's future. Take a look at this recent incident. Clark's follow-through, her dramatic fall, and the doe-eyed look pleading for a call. It all seems a bit too familiar. She's channeling none other than LeBron James, the undisputed flop king, who has been delighting us with his theatrical excellence for over 2 decades. Clark's antics might be laughable, but the national attention this flagrant foul is getting is downright hilarious. From Fox News to ESPN, everyone's talking about it. ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, isn't just spending time on this. They're leading their shows with it. Yesterday, 2 of ESPN's flagship morning shows, Get Up and First Take, started their broadcasts with continuing coverage of this so-called hip check heard around the world. It's the most attention we've seen devoted to a foul since Draymond Green got a little too hands-on with LeBron in the 2016 NBA Finals. Fast forward 8 years, and Draymond is still up to his old tricks, only now he's getting paid by Clutch Sports to do it. What a time to be alive. So, what's the takeaway here? Women's basketball is not just about the game, it's about the personalities, the drama, and the stories that keep us hooked. Caitlin Clark might be struggling on the court, but off the court, she's a magnet for attention. And while her on-court performance has been underwhelming, averaging just 15.1 points per game on 35% shooting and leading the league in turnovers, she remains a key figure in the league's narrative. Clark's team, the Indiana Fever, is currently 2-9, sitting second to last in the standings. Her flopping and theatricality might be drawing comparisons to LeBron, but let's not forget that she's still a rookie, finding her footing in the professional league. The transition from college to the pros is tough, and many players face similar struggles. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, press the subscribe button, and also drop your thoughts in the comment section.